He's taken on the political establishment and won. He's taken on the media establishment and he's made a bit of progress. And now on his third front for his slightly jingoistic world, Nigel Farage has taken on the financial establishment with his new Fortune and Freedom newsletter. So in this video we take a look at the newsletter and tell you 4 things to be very mindful about before you take financial advice from Nigel Farage. Hello, I'm Martin Bamford, a chartered financial planner at Informed Choice, and in this video we're taking a look at Nigel Farage's new Fortune and Freedom newsletter. It's a new daily email newsletter and he's launched it with a fairly blistering attack on independent financial advisors and other parts of the financial services profession. So what I wanted to do in this video is just really give you 4 points to keep in mind if you're considering subscribing to Farage's new Fortune and Freedom email newsletter, things to watch out for, things that might save you an awful lot of money in the future. Now, in launching the newsletter, Farage talks about IFAs and others using the same tired old lines. He clearly doesn't like what he sees as the financial establishment. He talks in his video with his co-presenter about having reviewed his pension statement after 20 years or so of working in politics and being unimpressed to discover high charges which are compounded over time and fairly miserable returns. So this apparently is his motivation for taking on the financial establishment, and in typical Farage style it is very opinionated, it's very much divide and conquer. He wants to align his opinions with your own and find common ground, and then on that basis sort of seek to inject his worldview when it comes to investing money. Introducing the newsletter, Farage says and makes the following promise: "I'll never try to bamboozle you with jargon like so many financial professionals try to do, usually to justify their huge salaries and fees. I'll show you the opportunities and ideas to help grow your wealth in a new Britain, unleashed after Brexit." Now, there are 4 things I believe you should know before subscribing to Fortune and Freedom. Let's give this a go. First up, Nigel Farage is not a financial professional. He talks a lot in his introductory video and the spiel that goes with the launch of Fortune and Freedom about his career as a commodities broker or commodities trader. Farage had a 20-year career on the London Metal Exchange as a commodities broker or trader, and clearly that is investment experience. He has been involved in the world of investing. But I have to say, and I would argue, that is not relevant personal finance investing experience. Commodities trading, commodities broking has nothing really to do with personal financial planning. It's a very niche, very specific area of trading. It's not really investing, it's trading. There's a big difference. And the experience from all those years ago that Farage can bring to the table now, I would argue, is not especially relevant when it comes to the world of personal finance. Now, of course, Farage's other realm of experience is politics, specifically European politics. And again, I would argue, not really relevant when it comes to the world of personal finance. Yes, it's good to know what's going on in the world of politics, and geopolitical issues will often influence investment markets and the economy to some extent, but this doesn't really translate into decisions you should be making as an individual investor. Awareness is good, but that experience, that profession is not going to bring anything really of value to this equation. The other party to the Fortune and Freedom newsletter is Nikolai Hubble. Now, Nick Hubble is Nigel's partner in this. He's his co-author when it comes to this newsletter, and he has a degree in finance and law, so ticking that box, that's good. He talks up his inside look at the banking giant Goldman Sachs when they're introducing this newsletter, but just keep in mind that Nick Hubble did an internship at Goldman Sachs whilst he was at university before deciding the world of investment banking wasn't for him and going off to become a newsletter writer and publisher. So again, I would argue a short internship in an investment bank, not really relevant experience from a personal finance perspective. And as a bit of a side note, because it's quite entertaining, if you scroll to the bottom of Nikolai Hubble's CV, you'll find out that he claims to be the only person in the world to have spun a plate whilst playing the bagpipes whilst on a flying trapeze 8 meters up in the air. I don't really have to tell you this, but again, not really relevant to the world of personal finance and investing, but quite entertaining all the same. The second point to watch out for if you subscribe to the Fortune and Freedom newsletter is just a general awareness that the sort of investing ideas they're already talking about in the introduction will lose you money. These are incredibly risky ideas. So they start off by talking about the benefits of holding gold. Now gold, arguably, because it's non-income producing, gold is not an investment. It features to a small extent within some mainstream investment portfolios, but as a bit of a hedge against inflation over the long term. Please don't start investing in gold thinking it's the answer to everything. The second investment area that's referenced in the introduction is why the euro is doomed. Now, arguably, there's some issues with the euro, and long term, the euro may not be a successful currency project, but that should not factor into your investment considerations. Please don't start trying to short currencies or anything mad like that if you're an investor. This again is incredibly high risk, speculative behavior, and it will lose you money. The other reference that Farage and Hubble make in their introduction is the potential for cryptocurrencies. And I would argue, as an experienced chartered financial planner, the only real potential for cryptocurrencies is to lose you all of your money. The world of cryptocurrencies are filled with scammers, are filled with risks. Just in the last week or so, the Financial Conduct Authority has confirmed a ban on certain derivative instruments associated linked to crypto assets. This is a very, very risky area of investing. It's not really investing, again, it's speculation, because the assets, the crypto assets, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum and others, don't actually have any tangible value. They're not income producing assets. Please don't get involved in crypto assets as a retail investor. You will lose everything. And finally, in the introduction, they talk about why cancel culture is making critical thinking and public debate toxic. And to some extent, I'm going to agree with that statement. Yes, cancel culture is a huge issue in our society at the moment. It does make having honest, transparent debates very, very difficult, particularly online. But what the hell does that have to do with investing money? Absolutely nothing. But this is a very clever strategy from Farage, and we've seen him use it in the world of politics too. He'll make a statement which much of his audience, I suspect, will get on board with and say, yeah, I agree, that makes sense, Nigel, and then try and link that somehow to his actual aim and objective. But cancel culture has nothing to do with investing or personal finance. I'll be very interested. I have subscribed to a newsletter so I can keep tabs on it. I'll be very interested to see how he tries to weave that argument into then making investment recommendations. Point number 3 is the fact that this newsletter is a daily email newsletter, and financial planners in my profession will often say, if investing is your hobby, you need a new hobby. Daily is too often. Investing money should be a long-term goal, not a short-term reactive thing. If you're looking at the markets and you're talking about investment ideas on a daily basis, and every morning at 9 AM that email pings into your inbox, you will become completely narrow focused on the world of investments. Investing is about setting and establishing your long-term financial plan in the first instance, and then making investment decisions which are well aligned to that long-term financial plan. If you start looking at daily investing tips and ideas and opinions, all you're going to start doing is reacting. And if you think that the world of charges in the investment industry are high and that compounding of charges is a big issue, and I agree it is an issue to an extent, wait until you see what happens when you start trying to time the markets. High charges will erode your investment returns, no doubt at all. There are things you can do to reduce investment charges, but what will really hurt your returns, hurt your wealth, hurt your capital, is trying to time the markets and moving in and out of different asset classes because of other people's opinions and, quite frankly, other people's speculation. They don't know what's going to happen any more than the rest of us do. They may claim to have a great deal of knowledge and experience when it comes to commodity trading and politics, but they cannot second guess the markets. If they could, they wouldn't be selling their services via an email newsletter. They would be out there doing it for themselves, taking their capital, applying the ideas they have and the opinions they have, and making money that way. Clearly, that is not the case. My fourth and final point, and this one's really important to recognise, is this is unregulated. This newsletter, Fortune and Freedom, is not regulated regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Now, it's being published in partnership with South Bank Investment Research Limited. They are an FCA regulated firm. I've checked them on the FCA register. They do appear there, and they have permissions for investment advice and recommendations. Now, the business model behind this email newsletter and behind most email newsletters is to give the information, the opinions away for free, and then over time advertise to the audience. And it does say that from time to time South Bank Investment Research Limited, the FCA authorised and regulated firm, will make offers to the newsletter subscribers. If you scroll down the page, look at the small print. Keep in mind though, this is information, this is not advice. So information is something that we can all give, we can put out there generically. It might or might not apply to your situation. Advice is personal, it's tailored, it's designed just for you, and of course it's regulated. And because it's regulated, you receive a great deal of protection. The advice has to be suitable for you. So the Financial Conduct Authority make us follow what are known as conduct of business rules. And those conduct of business rules mean we have to ensure suitability for individual clients. So they have to be suitable, the recommendations that are made by regulated advisors. You get a great deal of consumer protection. Regulated advisors have to hold professional indemnity insurance. If things go really badly wrong, you can make a claim against that insurance. We also have to agree that the Financial Ombudsman Service will settle any complaints that we cannot settle directly with clients. So they're an arbitrator of last resort for investors who take regulated advice. And if things go really badly wrong, if the provider of the investments or provider of advice goes belly up, they go bust, you have recourse to the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, FSCS, and they can pay you back money you've lost in many circumstances. That's what you get from working with a regulated advisor. If you make decisions based on things you read in a newsletter, you get none of that protection. Now, those are 4 things I think are really important to recognise before you get swept up in this excitement of Nigel Farage's new Fortune and Freedom newsletter. I suspect the sort of people that follow his politics and believe he is a great champion of British politics will completely ignore the points I've made in this video. I suspect I'll get some quite hateful comments down below as well, and that's fine. If this just saves 1 or 2 people from losing money as a result of following an investment newsletter and then buying dodgy, unregulated investments or high-risk investments which are associated with that newsletter at some point in the future, that to me is a good result. So my suggestion to you, if you're thinking about your money, if you're thinking about taking on the financial establishment right now, firstly, make sure you deal with someone who is suitably qualified and experienced. So not somebody that has a background in commodities trading, not somebody that did a brief internship at Goldman Sachs, somebody who's done proper, robust professional qualifications, who has become a chartered financial planner or a chartered wealth manager or a certified financial planner, or even someone that just holds the diploma in regulated financial planning, which is the entry-level qualification in the UK. So look for qualifications and relevant experience. Deal with regulated entities and regulated advisors. Please don't deal with unregulated institutions, unregulated people. You have no consumer protection when things go wrong, if things go wrong. And thirdly, stick to mainstream things. Getting involved in gold and cryptocurrencies and shorting currency is a really, really bad idea. I promise you this, you will lose all of your money if you try to time the markets and get clever and start trading rather than start investing. This is reality here. You are not an investment trader. Even if you start reading a daily newsletter, you're not going to become a trader. You will lose your money. Investment is about the long term. It should be linked to your financial planning objectives, not to what the markets are doing on a particular Wednesday morning. Our profession, the retail financial services profession, the financial planning profession, is not part of some global conspiracy to deprive you of your money. Yes, there are opportunities to reduce charges, to pay lower charges, and that's a really good thing. And actually one benefit from working with a good financial planner is they will help you to review the costs and charges you're paying on products and funds and pay the lowest possible for the value you get. But I have to say, in my experience, when investors try and go directly and cut out the financial advisor, they pay broadly the equivalent charges that they would have paid if they'd gone via a financial advisor anyway, but they lose layers of protection and layers of professional experience. It's a bad idea. So if you're going to sign up to the Fortune and Freedom newsletter, best of luck to you. I hope you enjoy the ramblings of Mr. Farage and his colleagues. But for now, I'm Martin Bamford from Informed Choice, signing off. Please do leave a like if you like this video. Please don't leave any hateful comments, even if you feel that Nigel Farage is the greatest man in the world, as I know some people do. And Tune in again for another video very soon. Thank you for watching.